The difference between ironing and pressing. So when my fabric is wrinkled, I'm going to take my iron and use a gliding motion. I'm going to push down with my iron on top of the ironing board, and I'm just going to glide the iron back and forth until my wrinkles are removed. Pressing, on the other hand, is a little bit different. This is when you're going to press seams open, or if you are folding fabric onto itself, like I'm going to do here, then you're going to use the pressing technique. So I'm going to actually fold this edge onto the wrong side of the fabric. So there's my right side, the blue, and the wrong side. And I'm going to hide these raw edges so that way we are not going to see this. So I would fold this onto the wrong side. And if you are measuring, for example, if this was measuring 1/2 of an inch, I would use the marker on the seam gauge to use accurate measurements. So I'm going to line this up where the marker is on the edge of the fabric, and then where the 0 line is, so I know that it's about 1/2 an inch folded under all the way across. It goes lower here, so I would want to pull the fabric down a little bit to make sure that it's 1/2 of an inch all the way across. 1/4 of an inch is going to be about half of that amount. So just a very small amount with your pin cushion. So then I'm going to take my iron very carefully. You don't want to get too close to your finger, otherwise you will burn your finger. But I'm just going to use the tip of the iron. So I'm going to lift up and push down. Lift up, press down. Lift up, press down. Lift up, press down. So this is called pressing. And then you could actually take the whole iron on its side once I know that this is kind of pressed down, and you can kind of use your fingernail to kind of crease that edge. I can then take my whole iron and push down on the fabric. And then lift up until it stays flat. Also make sure that on your iron, there are different settings. So I'm using a cotton fabric, so I want to make sure that my setting is on cotton. And if you are unsure, just ask. Okay, then you're going to rotate your fabric, and if I needed to fold my side, all of my sides in, I am just going to continue and take my fabric and fold it down onto the wrong side again. And then that's where I can use my seam gauge once again to measure out to make sure, is it going to be consistent all the way around, because you don't want your square to become lopsided. And that is how you press versus iron.